Hello, and welcome to, or welcome back to the channel of the Nasdaq Scalping Bot. This is not the Nasdaq Scalping Bot. It's a channel of the Nasdaq Scalping Bot, but we're building something different. This is a new project that we're starting with, and in this project, we're going to build a bot, again, a bot with AI, of course, to make a scam baiting AI, scam baiting bot AI, something like that. And if you want to know more about it, look at the previous video, then you know. But today we'll make the start of the building of this bot. So keep on tight. And in this series, we're going to take a look at how to create such a not scalping bot. Oh, that will take a while. How to create a scam baiting bot. It's both starting with S and C. So the scam baiting bot. SCB, AI, scam baiting. Let's see. But to start with it, we're starting it today. We're going to do this in small steps so everybody can join in and can take a look at what he or she want to do and want to build. And before we're going to do this, we first going to start with our safe environment, so precautions, measurements to do this. And before that, we want to know, and we're going to have to need a virtual environment. In this virtual environment, we can do all this safe stuff. And if you don't know what a virtual environment is, well, this is a picture of a virtual environment. A virtual environment, a virtual machine, is based on the hardware of the current machine, the actual hardware machine. And how did this all happen? Well, back in the days when I was still young and virtual and not as pretty, then we used servers. And when you had a server for your mail, a mail server. You had a server for your print, so a print storage nowadays, a spool, also a server, and a server for your data, a server for your users. So you had all these different kind of servers in your server room, and those were not that cheap. So to do this, and if mail servers and a print server doesn't happen to be of not being used that much, but cost a lot of money, the OS, the operating systems nowadays, it's a couple of 2 decades now, it's being able to make a virtual machine on an actual machine. So you can use a server, one times the hardware, so only once the cost for the hardware. It should be pretty good hardware, but only once. And on that one only server, you can put on three different virtual machines with each its own operating systems and each its own apps. For example, if you want to do this at home, you can make a virtual machine, one with Windows, one with Linux, and I will say one with Apple, but Apple won't do so, but one with Linux, Ubuntu, and one with Linux, Sovereign, for example. And you're going to test, and you can look out, and you can make this stuff work, and check out what you like and what you didn't like. And the best of this all is, if you don't like what you see, it's all software, it's all data somewhere on a hard disk, because all you have to do is to delete those virtual machine, and you can build a new virtual machine as you want to have it, and try and try and try. Or in the professional environment, the setup is also there, but we did use this virtual machines also to test new software or new operating systems. So for nowadays, you could use, if you want to upgrade some software, or if you want to upgrade your operating system from, example, Windows Server 2019 to Windows Server 2021, and you're not sure if all the applications that you have currently in your organization actually works, then you can build a virtual machine with the new environment and test. Or test and see, oh, that doesn't work. Or test and say, we need to adjust this and we need to adjust that. And with all those combinations of each software that is used within the organization, and a lot of organizations don't do this, testing each software application separate and then try to mix it and so on and so forth to try and make a stable new environment. But if they do, and they have, then they roll it out and everybody can switch to the new environment and everybody can work. It's also that virtual machines will be used for people working from outside the organization and want to work inside the machine or inside the network that we are connected to. They can have a virtual desktop, and from outside logging in to the corporation server, they still can work from home onto the servers and onto the data of the company. And there are many more applications for the use of a virtual machine or a virtual environment. Way too much to talk about in this video, but we have a lot. And you see, this is what we want to do, and we're going to use our virtual machine to be a sandbox in which we're going to work with everything we need for our new Scambaiting bot. To use, what can we use? We can use VirtualBox. VirtualBox is a, as you say, powerful open source virtualization. A lot of communities, a lot of students, my students, use VirtualBox because it's free. It's clear. And you can enhance it to a higher part, but it's mostly used to be, it's free. So VirtualBox is a option that you can use. And if you want to use it, go to virtualbox.org and you can download and install VirtualBox for yourself. Another one is the one that's inside Windows, and this is Azure Virtual Machines, and we call it Hyper-V, Hyper Virtual Machines. And I don't know if Microsoft has the name actually into it, but this is Azure based on the server. But for home use, we also have Hyper-V. So you can use your Hyper-V, your Hyper Virtual Machine to work with. That's also an option. The third option we have is VMware. It's a paid service from virtual machines, but a very, very powerful version of virtual machines. Let's accept the cookies here. It's a very powerful version to do so. And a lot of companies who are not that happy with the Microsoft Hyper-V, they use VMware and they will work with this. So this is also possible, but this is a paid service. So you can use the Hyper-V machine viewer to use a ready built Hyper-V to use a ready built machine, VMware machine. That's possible, but to build entire environment, you need to have the paid version. And the final version we have is this one. This is Docker, and Docker is also a virtual machine environment for everything you can use with. They have ready machines you can build in, and with the Docker environment you have a virtual machine that is light, so it does not cost a lot of resources on your machine, and it's maybe hard to start with, to learn with, but if you get it how Docker actually works, then it will be much easier and much better for home users to use. And for this environment, for this application, we're gonna use Docker. So let's install Docker. Well, I made an account and now I'm in, and we're gonna do this, but like I said, we're gonna do this together with AI. So it's not that I don't know what I need to do, but we want to bring in the AI, and the AI is part of it. So here we have the AI as being DeepSeek and not ChatGPT. We're going to use DeepSeek, and I'm going to ask DeepSeek, how do I install Docker? And download and install, and yeah. Oh, got the thinking on. Enable hardware virtualization. Ensure that hardware virtualization is enabled in your BIOS. Yeah. I know my machine has already done this, and if you don't, whatever virtual machine you want to run, either VirtualBox or Hyper-V or whatever, if you don't have the virtualization enabled in your system, in your BIOS, you need to do that first. Then I want to know what he tells me. Go to the Docker desktop for Windows and download the installer. Double click on the installer and enable WSL2 backend from Hyper-V. Only Windows Server Language 2 instead of Hyper-V. Okay, now well, let's see. Let's download the Docker first. Go to download. Docker desktop for Windows. For Windows 64. So I downloaded it. This is the Docker desktop. Double click on the installer, and if everything goes okay with OBS, we should see a installer screen. And if everything goes well, then we would have seen, or we would see a desktop configuration. There it is. Use WSL2 instead of Hyper-V, recommended. For Windows 11, yes. For Windows 10, I'm not sure. Because containers to be used, we're gonna see. Because I think that WSL2, Windows Server is also available in Windows 10. Yes, and add a shortcut to the desktop. Okay, for now. What did he say right here? while it's running. Windows as the backend for Windows 11 64-bit, Windows 10 64-bit. Okay, yeah, okay. So for Windows 10, we also can use the Docker VSL. Good. We're gonna wait until everything is unpacked and installed. And after the installation is succeeded, and I see we are at Docker Desktop 4.40 in the meantime, so we are 2 versions up. Close. Now we have installed Docker. Now let me take you to it and grab the screen in OBS. There it is. Subscription and service agreement. We take accept. Then a new window. We get Docker Desktop. Welcome to the Docker. Work or personal. We're gonna choose a personal. And an email address, and I want to use what's happening on the background. You won't see it, but I see. So I want to grab that one too, if I'm possible, to show you guys what's happening on the background. This is happening on the background. Oh, wow. VSL. First, we're going to take the rest of the Docker Desktop, and I'm gonna use the email address, my Google account, to do this in the personal. Then we get the survey, step 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. Well, what is your role? I'm gonna skip it, and we come into our container setup. I want to make sure that you all see this. Yeah. This is the Docker Desktop, while in the background we still have the Windows subsystem for Linux, VSL2. We still need to do this one, but if you did it all right, then is this what you see, and I will explain what you see in a moment. But first I'm gonna switch to the other one. So that you guys can see what's happening here. Well, this is Windows subsystem for Linux, which means there is a virtual, there we go, there's a virtual environment created for this Docker, and it's based on Linux. And it closed before I even could show you guys what it was, but it should be closing, and I will grab the environment again by using VSL on the settings. So this is the Windows subsystem for Linux, and in this subsystem you can build your environment that you need for your virtual machine. In this case, in my case, this is, and it's all in Dutch, excuse me, but I'm in Dutch, it's all in Dutch. It says that the number of processors that's being used for this virtual environment are 4, and I believe it's the maximum. Yeah, it's the maximum for now. The memory allocation for the virtual for the Windows subsystem is 8 GB. That's enough. Then we have the swapping space that's been needed for Linux is 2 GB, also good enough. And then if I needed to switch the swap station to another station, I can use anything like we're gonna choose 4 in different station. but all this is built on my main hard drive, C part 2. The virtual file system we're looking at for now is a default virtual hard disk is about 104 gig, 10 gig. Let me count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1 gig. 10 gig. We've got the network. It's NAT. That's good. Network address translator, because if you don't do this, you won't have a connection to the internet. So we use NAT. And the optionals, we don't change anything in the optionals, and then we are ready. So those are the parts you need to check or adjust if you have something else or a better machine than I have. Then we're going back to the Docker. So after we started this Docker desktop and we're ready, and you see this one, let's explain first, what do you see? So what is a container? How do I run a container? You can view this, of course, it's a YouTube, so why wouldn't you? But these are 3 things we need to explain to you shortly. We have containers. A container is a complete package, like a container, with in it images. And an image, as an image, are used to run a container. That could be an image of an operating system with already applications in it, or only an operating system, or something you want to test, or programming, or whatever. And that need to be stored in a volume. And a volume is the actual space on your hard disk. So these are 3 separate things, but connected. If you want to delete one of your virtual machines, one of your containers, if you say, I don't need a container, that container can be removed, then you can look up for your volume of that container, and when you press delete on your keyboard, the entire container with the image on it will be gone. It's not the right way to do, but that's what a volume is. It's the actual space on your hard disk reserved to store a container. And inside that container, there is an image. That's the 3 things we're gonna do. I'll see right here. And now we have an Ask Gordon beta version. Now, Ask Gordon, oh, there he is. Enable Docker AI. Of course, also Docker comes with an AI. And I don't know if I want to start this. I'm gonna take a look at it. I don't think so. So, no, I'm not. I see a new version is available for 14.41. I will not do it. I will do it off cam, but I will update, of course, to the newer ones. Going back to Hyper-V DeepSeek to see what he's going to tell me, what else I need to do. So download, run the installer, enable Windows subsystem for Linux. I did. Restart your PC. I did not, and it's not necessary right now. But yeah, because we need the engine to it. Yeah, okay. So we need to restart the machine, and you need to restart the machine too. And we will see each other back after I restarted the machine and updated to the newest version of Docker. Be right back. And after a restart, we will see this again, our Docker desktop with those empty containers. There's no container yet, so we're gonna create one. And that's what we're gonna do with the command line. Yeah, we can do command line. Let's take PowerShell. So run a PowerShell. Let's grab the screen so you can see what I see. We've got so many windows open, we need to shift. So I'm gonna this one and activate that one. Yeah, now we have PowerShell active. And all you have to do right here is type in Docker run hello-world. By doing this, there will be a basic setup for your Docker installation. You will start downloading and add it. So if we go back to the Docker view, then we see we have a new one. It's called Cranky Brown. Okay, it's a random name, so don't worry if you got something else. The image is Hello World, and we could start this one if we want to. But if you don't so, and you have in the upper right corner, like I have 4.41.1, or depending on which time you're looking at this video, but for now it's 4.41.1 to be the Docker environment we're going to work with. I'm going to switch once more back to, we need, where is my DeepSeek? Because we're going to ask DeepSeek how to get a Python image, a container in Docker. That's the question, because I first need the Python container before I can do anything else. There it is. Then we get container here. Yeah. And like ChatGPT, DeepSeek always give a lot of extra bonus information of what I think, would be nice. I would pick myself back in, my face back in. Yeah. So we go back up, and you see that you need Python Docker pool Python 3.11 Slim. So we're going back to our PowerShell. Do I see the PowerShell? No, we don't. There it is. And we pass it in. Docker pool as get down, pool as download, pool Python 3.11 Slim version. And it will take some time. So now it pulled the image from the internet, and now we need to run this, and then we're going back to switching between screens. Yes, there it is. We're going back to Docker run -it-rm, and then Python 3.11 Slim with Python. We copy the text, and we're going back to the PowerShell. Paste it in and say go. Run, yeah, it's a run. So we should see now in our Docker environment no. Why not? Oh, say we should see, but there it is. A peaceful, but nice naming. Yeah, okay, but we see we have an image call Python in a separate container. The container ID is separate of the one of the hello world. So you see this container ID is 55CDE, etc. And this container ID has a different ID. So two separate containers. This is active. We can stop and restart it. And now we have a Docker environment with Python installed. If you thought this video was helpful, like and subscribe, and keep on following the series because we're going further and further with the installation and creation of a Scambaiting bot. See you all in the next video.